always having to choose between my boyfriend and parents, and I feel awful. TLDR. Parents always make me feel bad for going out with my boyfriend after years of being by their side all the time. They're now making me choose between them and my boyfriend for Christmas. Hey everyone. I hope you guys are having a good day, and if you aren't, I hope it gets better. I just needed some guidance because I'm at my breaking point and I'm not sure what I'm going to do anymore, or if this is even normal, or if I'm just incapable of making a decision. For context, I 20F have been dating my boyfriend 20M for just over a year. Both me mom 45F and dad 56M have very traditional views, especially my mom, who's very stubborn on the mindset the guy does everything for the girl and to choose family over everything constantly, and they don't like my boyfriend. Me and my boyfriend have a very equal relationship, which frustrates my mom especially. This goes from attending his events to driving to our dates myself. He used to pick me up when I couldn't drive, but since we live an hour away from each other, it was obviously better to drive somewhere in the middle and meet up. The main issue is, my parents and I always had a tight bond. Mostly because they're very strict, and it was difficult for me to go out with friends, which meant I was practically at their hip. From just going out to groceries or errands, I always tagged along. Since I met my boyfriend, it's been difficult, and I'm constantly made to feel like I'm an awful daughter for wanting to spend time with him. Even when I bake or crochet something, I make sure I do it when they aren't around or outside, because God forbid they catch me doing it, they'll get weird and tell me off or start ignoring me. This frustrates me because it's not like I'm just doing all these things for him. Have baked and cooked plenty of stuff for them, but most of the time it gets left untouched or thrown out, even if they request it. So I'll only ever do it if they ask me to. Even though we've been dating for a while, we've had to constantly adjust to what my mother feels comfortable with. So we ended up having to go out on one date every 2 weeks, because when we started going out once a week, I was immediately told I was crossing a line. So that's great. This leads to where I'm looking for advice. It's Christmas soon, and for a while my parents and I knew my BF's family wanted to invite us out for camping, and I believe I showed how excited I was. His family is really sweet and one of the best people I know. They changed their whole Christmas plan to meet their relatives to settling for a camping site an hour away from me, just so I could go after Christmas camping with them if my parents were uncomfortable. They always bend backwards to try and make it so I could have a chance to go and feel comfortable. But then spontaneously last night, my parents decided it would be better to go on vacation from Christmas to New Year's. They gave me the choice to decide where I wanted to go. Think about what you want, sure. And Mum gave me a rule that I could only camp for a few days if I wanted to actually go, which meant LD be spending New Year's alone. They pressured me to give an answer instead of thinking of it, and I just said I wanted to go camping. Immediately came the "I'm surprised" and the "so you'd rather stay alone than spend time with us," and, wow, that says a lot. I should add that I know it can be difficult, especially for my mom, to not have her daughter there for Christmas and all. She's made it clear that we always spend Christmas together. But I should also add, last year when my boyfriend came for a week to spend Christmas and New Year's with us to have a fresh start on his and my parents' relationship, which was clear to everyone, my parents decided to go on a trip with their friends on Christmas. Hypocritical, but not surprising. I don't know what to do, if I'm honest. There's a lot between me and my parents. So many issues, especially now I have someone in my life other than them. I know they're overprotective of me. They've practically shielded me all my life to the point I was only allowed to get a job recently. Can't even find one since I don't have any experience. That means I'm completely dependent on them for everything, and that makes me feel awful every single time. I'll feel indebted for everything they've done for me, and while I really do appreciate it, it also feels like I'll just be trapped here and constantly guilt into doing what they want because they did all these things for me. While most of the time it's never been directly said, it's been mentioned enough that it lingers in the back of my mind. I'm scared I'll drive my boyfriend away just like everyone else because they got tired of putting up with my parents' rules and everything. I don't know what to do or where to go. LV been trying to keep it in and fix it, but things get more difficult with my parents every single time. I know it's probably a small issue and that I'm supposed to know what to do now since I'm literally an adult, but I don't know anymore. I'm stuck between one relationship where I was always made to feel I couldn't handle the real world or make my own decisions, and one that makes me feel like I can do things and needs me to be independent. I feel like I'll just be trapped here and constantly guilt into doing what they want because they did all these things for me. While most of the time it's never been directly said, it's been mentioned enough that it lingers in the back of my mind. I'm scared I'll drive my boyfriend away just like everyone else because they got tired of putting up with my parents' rules and everything. I don't know what to do or where to go. LV been trying to keep it in and fix it, but things get more difficult with my parents every single time. I know it's probably a small issue and that I'm supposed to know what to do now since I'm literally an adult, but I don't know anymore. I'm stuck between one relationship where I was always made to feel I couldn't handle the real world or make my own decisions, and one that makes me feel like I can do things and needs me to be independent. I'm sorry if what I write is really confusing. There's so much to unpack and this isn't even all of it, but I just want to know what to do here. Or if my parents were right about me being so petulant or selfish, or whatever it is. Or maybe just take the leap. I really appreciate everyone who took the time to read this. I know this is really long and I'm so sorry. I've just been keeping all this in for so long. I have my boyfriend to talk to, but I don't want him to shoulder all of this. My parents are out of the question since I can barely say how I feel without getting told to think about their feelings. So this is the only place I can turn to. I hope you guys have a great day/night, and thank you again for your time and advice.